How do you tackle the lack of adoption? Many implementations miss their original goal and miss the mark. Missed ROIs have a fix, and that is to address the problem at the source, identify process debt, and rectify it. This video gives a quick summary on how to. So, how do you rectify process debt?
Most enterprise AI projects fail long before they scale. They fail because they are built for an idealized operational world that does not actually exist. Take a look at this animation. Here we see a pristine, linear, 5-step flowchart being laid out. This clean sequence represents what we call work as imagined. It is the official standard operating procedure that looks perfect on a whiteboard in a conference room, but immediately falls apart under real-world pressure. To fix this, you need 3 things: your existing official SOP, access to observe a frontline technician doing the actual job, and a completely blank workspace to map out what really happens. If you take an AI tool and deploy it directly into that idealized process, you aren't fixing broken workflows. You are simply paying for premium compute power to accelerate flawed logic at scale. To uncover the actual operational physics of the frontline, we use the day-in-the-life observation method. The absolute most critical rule of the DELO method is to observe silently. Do not correct the technician. Do not dictate the official policy while they work. Just watch. Your job is to document every shadow workflow they rely on to survive the moment of work. Note the personal apps they use, the physical cheat sheets they check, and peer phone calls they make. Take a look at this model. When you contrast the official SOP with reality, you see how complexity multiplies in the field. What was supposed to be a clean 5-step process is actually a chaotic, tangled web of 14 different steps and workarounds. This is work as done. These informal workarounds are not the result of rogue employees breaking the rules. They are symptoms of a system that imposes too much cognitive friction on the worker when time is tight and the stakes are high. This messy, undocumented web is your true operational baseline. If you ignore it, any new digital tools you introduced will be bypassed, and institutional trust in your technology will collapse. That gap between the official, documented procedure and the tangled reality you observed in the field is called process debt. Look at this chart. On the left is the short stack of our baseline expectations. On the right is the massive, teetering stack of actual steps and system hops required in the field. We calculate the difference between these two to find the debt delta. A high debt delta usually means technicians are doing things like typing the same customer data into 3 different screens, checking boxes just to satisfy compliance audits, or relying on tribal knowledge to solve recurring hardware issues. Warning tone. It is incredibly tempting to take that bloated current state and digitize it as is. Do not do this. An AI built on top of process debt will only create a faster, much more expensive failure. Calculating the debt delta serves as a mathematical wake-up call for leadership. It proves with hard data that simplification must happen before automation begins. To rectify that debt before writing a single line of code, we use a 4-step framework called the redesign sieve. You can see it represented here by this large industrial mesh. Every single action you observed during your field mapping must be forced through these sequential filters. Each step has to justify its existence. Filter 1 is eliminate. Watch as this heavy chunk of red clay hits the mesh and disintegrates. You need to ruthlessly kill any steps, manager approvals, or legacy forms that do not add real-time value or reduce risk. For example, if a technician needs a routine replacement part that costs less than $50, stop requiring them to wait for a manager's signature. Just eliminate the step entirely. Filter 2 is automate. Look for administrative, background tasks that a system can trigger without human touch. If a geofence can log a technician's site arrival time automatically, let the system do it. Eliminating and automating are your first lines of defense. They protect the technician's cognitive load, ensuring they only spend their mental energy on high-stakes problem-solving. Filter 3 is collapse. You need to find fragmented touchpoints across the workflow and merge them. Here, the piston smashes 2 separate forms together to create one perfectly clean and unified sheet. In practice, this looks like taking the mandatory daily safety checklist and the job start form and merging them into a single dynamic screen so the worker only clicks Submit once. Filter 4 is Guide. The system must stop forcing technicians to search for answers across fragmented databases. Take a look at this tablet with the blue arrow pointing to exactly one clear button. Instead of making the technician read through a 20-page PDF to diagnose an error, use AI to push the next best action directly to them based on real-time telemetry from the machine. By passing the workflow through Collapse and Guide, you shift your digital tools from being passive reporting burdens into active, trusted partners in the field. Once you complete the redesigned sieve, you get this, a single glowing golden ribbon flowing out smoothly. This is your streamlined, highly optimized workflow blueprint, and it is finally ready to be scaled with AI. Contrast this golden thread with the tangled red web we started with. This new design respects the frontline worker. It provides clarity, speed, and reliability when they are under intense pressure. There is one absolute, non-negotiable rule when transforming field operations. You must rectify the debt before you digitize. AI itself does not transform operations. Only radically simplified, human-centered workflows transform operations. AI is simply the engine that powers them.
For more insights, subscribe to Purposeful Nudge and start rewiring your field services organization today.